Hey folks, Scully Nomad here, hope you are well. So today's episode we're going to be making our very own fold out solar panel, as you can see behind here. The ones that I've used are the Renogy Bifacial panels, which I'm going to be repurposing later on to be a solar arch on my sailboat. So the reason I went with the bifacial ones is because they can absorb light underneath. So when they are elevated on the back of the boat, they can absorb the whiteness of the hull and also the reflection of the water. The reason I decided to make my own fold-out solar panels because I was going to buy one of those pre-made ones. However, they were only a maximum of 400 watts. They tend to be a little bit flimsy, and if you read the small print, they are not weather sealed. So the solar arch project is going to be in a few months' time because of the money aspect of it. For now, I just wanted to get the bifacial panels on the boat, and what I've used is 22mm overflow pipe, and that way it's kind of made a semi-rigid structure behind the panels, and I can fold it up and pull it away. So when I am moving the boat, I can pull them away, and when I'm just simply hanging out, I can just deploy them on the deck and leave them there. So the way I'll be using the solar panels on the boat is, of course, they'll be on the deck somewhere. I've not quite figured out where I'm going to put them on placement, but they're going to be powering my all-in-one power station. It has its own solar charger inside, and the panels that I chose here have a semi-low voltage, so they are within 48 volts, and what I'll be doing on the sailboat is putting a switch between the panels, which will go towards the Victron solar charger for the boat to charge up the boat batteries, and then the other side of the switch will go straight to my all-in-one power station. So what I can do is, when it's quite sunny, I can have the solar panels already on the boat using the house bank, and then I can have these panels here charging the all-in-one power station, and I can switch between them. I do have a couple of friends at the marina who use the fold-out solar panels when they're at Anchorage, and both of them have the Aferiy P310, which is an all-in-one power station similar to the Blue Yeti one that I have, and I actually ended up buying my parents the larger version of that unit, and they're only designed to be deployed in nice weather and then packed away when not in use. So the shape of the design that I went for is like this. So it's basically a big rectangle with T-pieces at the top. And the pipe I used is a semi-rigid pipe, which is 21.5mm. You can cut it with a hacksaw, but you can buy a specialist tool for about £15. I try and explain my videos as easy as possible. So the top bar consists of two smaller bars, a T-piece and a medium length bar. And you're going to join all of those together, and then you're going to have the longest bars connected to the T-pieces. At the bottom of the longest bars, you're going to have an elbow, and then the medium sized one connected at the bottom. I'm going to drill 2 holes in for drainage, and they're connected to the solar panel using spacebar saddles, 20mm. The reason we're using the 20 rather than the 22 is because they physically won't fit in the panel if you go for the larger ones. These size panels come in boxes with packaging, so I laid down the foam on the floor so it didn't scratch up the surface of the panel. On some solar panels you only have one junction box with both cables fitting at. This has 2 junction boxes, so we want to ensure that the pipes are going to be recessed underneath the frame in order to fold it away properly. So I measured the junction boxes on the outer side of them and added 2 extra inches. When you're pushing in the pipes into the fittings, you do lose about an inch. I refer to these bars as the medium length ones, and they're going to be at the top and at the bottom of the frame, and the bottom ones are going to have holes drilled in them. Just in case a little bit of water goes in them, then they can just drain out easily. It does cut very easy, but you will end up with jagged edges, so you can either file them off, or you can buy the actual pipe cutter itself, which will stop doing this. For 2 of the medium pipes without holes in them, I'm going to attach the T-pieces, and you can see that they do recess inside of the T-piece. They do fit in quite nicely, but you can add thread locker to secure them. Push them in nice and firmly and they should stay in place, and then if you get the elbows and the other medium pipes, then push them together as well, because we can attach them a little bit later on. The medium bar with the T-pieces on, what I did was line it up with the edges of the solar panel, and then I measured inside the T-piece to the end of the frame to give a rough estimate. 16 divided by 2. And then I took that number and divided it into 2, because we'll have 2 smaller pieces either side of the T-pieces. And I made 4 of them. You add the 2 smaller pieces on and then squeeze them in pretty tight, and then do a little test fit before you put the brackets on. With the 20mm spacer bars, just put the U shape on underneath because we're going to apply the bracket to the top of the frame. On this particular solar panel there are already 20 pre-cut holes, however we will be drilling into the frame a little bit later on. End up the top of the hole here using the screw, and I'm going to go in like so. And then these blocks are going to be at the back to give it some support. For now I'm just putting in one screw because I'm going to be swapping the screws out for stainless steel ones. I'm going to be wrapping them in the PTFE tape, and we're also going to measure out the angle of the solar panel. So I'm just going to go with a 45-degree angle, so prop the solar panel up against the fence. I measured from the middle of the plastic T-piece to the floor and then deducted 1 inch. For my panels, I'm just using 2 vertical poles for the support. If you have larger panels, you might want to add another bar in between. Now it's a case of pushing them all together. So the bottom bars actually drilled 2 holes inside, so if any water gets in, it has a place to escape. Drainage holes at the bottom. Before you start drilling holes, you want to wrap a load of electrical tape around the drill piece itself. That way it will stop you going straight through the metal and then into the panel. There's also a piece of wood that I've placed between the aluminium and the solar panel itself, and you can see there where the tape had stopped it going straight through to the panel. To raise up the plastic blocks I'm using for support, I use the spacer bar backing plates themselves to just raise it up a little bit to make it easier to drill into. The original screws that came with these spacers I removed and swapped them out for stainless steel because they're more corrosion resistant and designed to be outside. I wrapped these screws in the PTFE tape because the frame for the solar panel is made of aluminium, and when you have 2 different metals touching each other for a long period of time you get galvanizing corrosion. Although my intention is to do a solar arch on the back of the boat sooner rather than later, I am saving up to buy a different vehicle. My 17-year-old car with 168,000 miles drives pretty well for now, but you know, the MOT is coming up pretty soon, so we'll have to deal with that. And I'm looking to buy a van and convert it, so if that sounds like something you'd like to follow along with, feel free to like and subscribe. Now we're going to attach the hinges on the frames to connect them. The hinges I actually wrapped in weather tape, and that way the 2 different metals don't touch each other. It's 33 degrees by the way, so I really appreciate if you like and subscribe, and I've just hit 1.2 million views. The way I managed to line up the panels perfectly for the hinge was using a spirit level either side of the panels, and the electrical tape roll that I used just conveniently also fit in the gap all the way through. When you put the hinge on, make sure it goes the correct way round where it folds all the way into itself, because if you put it the wrong way it will get stuck. The 2 middle holes on the hinges that I used lined up perfectly with the solar panel holes already, so I didn't need to drill anything there, and I used the same plastic blocks that I used for the plastic frame that we built earlier. The holes at the top and the bottom of the hinge I did need to drill, and it's exactly the same process of drilling the holes in the frame from earlier. And it's a case of just doing the 2 hinges, so one at the bottom and one at the top. If you do get a pack of 3, you can always drill a few more holes in the frame, but I'm trying to not drill too many because I am repurposing these for a later job. On the opposite side of the hinges, I actually put these plastic blocks on there just so it didn't close metal on metal, and this also protects the brackets. I use cable ties on horizontal bar just to stop the cables getting jammed in the hinges. They're connected in parallel, so one of the negative and one of the positive terminals connected, and with that connection I also cable tied it to the top of the T-piece. When I get to the boat, what I'll be doing is using a little bit of string to go from the little hole here to the pole. That way there's no way the panel can slide back this way. I'm probably going to put a little rubber strip at the bottom of the panel as well to stop it sliding, and what I'll be doing is I'll be gluing all of these T-pieces and elbows together. The reason I haven't done it now is because I'm going to try and find a spot on the deck, and because the deck is uneven, what I'll probably be doing is chopping these poles down. So this is just really a blueprint for somebody who wants to adapt a little bit of what I've done here. just to kind of help people out really. So this is what I've done. So when I first had solar panels here at the house, I probably should have just done something like this for a little while, because, you know, they are waterproof. They're pretty strong as well. I'll quickly share with you some of my own personal experience from having solar here in the UK. So these 250 watt panels combined are 500 watts. Now I find that you tend to get about a third to half of the output stated overall. So of course when it's sunny you'll get more closer to that 500 watts, but throughout the day on average you'd probably get around 200 watts for these. So if you are trying to size up how much panels do you need, then I would go for that. So let me have a quick look. So it is now 11 AM. It's fairly overcast, and yeah, 210 watts we're getting on here. Now I do have a larger solar array on the roof, which is connected to an all-in-one power station similar to this, but it's the next size up. It's by Aferiy. It's the P310. It's double the size battery, and it has basically double the size inverter, which means you can run pretty much anything on it. And on the roof we actually have 3 430 watt panels. So originally I brought one panel for this Bluetti, which is discontinued now, thinking that maybe in 6 hours that one panel will power this, but I found that I ended up having to buy another 2 panels, so I have 3 very large panels basically charging this Bluetti power station. During the summer, you know, solar works fine, however in the spring and autumn not so well, and in the winter they are basically garden ornaments. But this here series of panels is probably going to power my gaming laptop. So putting 200 watts, so when I am playing the games on my gaming laptop, it uses around 200 watts. Of course I don't game 24/7, and of course the sun is not out 24/7, so my goal is to basically have the gaming laptop powered. I did lend one of my friends one, and this is a 400 watt panel, so you can see the physical size is a little bit different and it's lighter. If you scan the QR code, I did make a list of which ones I would consider, along with the ones that my friends have and the bifacial panels I ended up buying. I hope the video helps. Thanks for watching, thanks for being fans, and I'll see you on the next one.